Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, here with my guy, Mr. Brett Bandick, out in Winter Haven, Florida. I am coming to you from beautiful St. Cloud, Florida. Brett, welcome back. How you doing, buddy?
Are you kidding, man? I'm doing great. I've been on the show in a hot minute. I'm ready to rock and roll. Talk about some NFL. Talk about the previous Mike Tyson pussy death fight. Everything. Yeah, man. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Let's do this.
All right. Before we hit the NFL, I spoke on Paul Tyson. What's your take? Let's go.
This was the one time for me to get really back into boxing and have faith in the sport and have some kind of hope. And once again, it proved me wrong.
So you are disappointed, for lack of a better word.
100%. 100%. You can tell Mike holding his punches. You can tell everything was staged. The 200 card fights were great. Don't get me wrong. They were great fights. But as soon as the main event hit, it just had Vegas and greed all over it, and it wasn't something I enjoyed, it was something that I got kids hyped up for, and I'm like, oh my God, Mike Tyson, he's back in the ring, blah, 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 blah. And I even put all the hype into it. And then, the kids watched it with me, and they're like, what are we watching? And I'm like, you know what? I 100% agree with you. And I was so pissed, and, it's... It's heartbreaking for me as a sports fan to witness anything that was going down that night. After the fact, I saw Mike Tyson's bare ass. I knew after that it was going to be a shit show, but I was trying to have, all the optimistic in the world about this event, and I was really hyped for this kind of thing. And once again, boxing let me down. So it's definitely something I'm not going to get into again. I'd much rather watch Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward reruns. At the end of the day, it sucks. Granted, it's a prize event. It's all about the money at the end of the day. Tyson got his $20 million to take care of his kids, and he said that going into the fight. My kids are going to know what kind of man I'm going to be going into this fight, and it was correct. He got his kids set up, for the next how many years they're going to be alive, and he won't be around, and God bless him. At the end of the day, he did it for the money. He definitely didn't do it for the legacy. And it sucks, man. It does suck, because I had a lot of high hopes going into this particular fight, and it was heartbreaking for me. I lost a lot of hope in that sport, and that was the one particular event that can really get me back into the game and get me, really back into boxing the way that I used to be, back in the actual heavyweight days, when Lennox Lewis, Evander was around, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we grew up in a cool time where you had a substantial amount of money fights that were worth looking forward to. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I wanna shout out Tyson Fury for carrying the heavyweight division for a decent amount of time before he caught his first loss to Usyk. From an action level standpoint, the fights with Wilder and Fury were bringing the heavyweight division back. I do enjoy David Benavidez. I would love to see him and Canelo get it on. I believe that that would be Canelo's swan song or swan, twofer, in the event he should lose. I don't think Canelo wants to end it on a loss. But to piggyback off of your point about this spectacle that was built up and was just a big bundle of shit, you could thank Floyd Money Mayweather for this with the novelty fights. Like for instance, fighting Conor McGregor. And I'll be honest with you, I thought McGregor held his own, but I also took into consideration that I felt like Floyd at certain junctures of that fight were toying with him because it's like anything else. If you get into an octagon and that's their world, or if they get into the ring and that's your world, you naturally are going to have an advantage, And speaking of advantages about this fight, the ring was bigger, which is an advantage to the younger fighter, which is Jake Paul. The rounds were shorter, which is an advantage to the older fighter. That'd be Mike Tyson. But I'm with you, Brett, in the sense that
I don't think it was really an advantage. I don't think it was an advantage for Mike Tyson in any way, shape, or form. In the contract that he was dealt, if he knocks this guy out within 3 rounds, he doesn't get any money.
There have been conflicting reports on how.
Like I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and Joe Rogan speaks the truth, especially when it comes to fighting. And this guy explained everything in that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul contract. He explained it all.
Well, bottom line is this: they're cool enough, They're cool enough from the podcast, hanging out, whatever have you. Mike has notoriously always been bad with his money. If you go back to his days when he was making 30 mil, 25 mil a fight, shit like that, back in the 80s and 90s. He obviously needed the payday. It goes without saying. But the thing that pissed me off with this was Tyson's ulcer and that whole health situation. That was all real.
What? Yes.
I wholeheartedly believe that Mike and Jake probably communicated in advance of this fight. I believe if this fight would have happened in the summer like it was supposed to, you might have saw a different situation. Like, how you were super disappointed, as was I, when Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather got it on?
Mm-hmm.
Because Mayweather waited till Pac was vulnerable. He was nursing an injury. Make no mistake, Mike Tyson was going into that fight not 100% also injured. And the thing that annoys me, and I got to give a shout out to Gervonta, because he put it out there and he was like, "You're a clown show." Just to be even sharing the ring with a legend like Mike. But I understand you have to sell a fight. It's all part of it. Because why did we watch Mayweather fights? Because we couldn't stand him. You know what I mean? And you were praying that Ricky Hatton or Oscar De La Hoya or somebody, Sugar Shane, somebody could beat him.
I just wanted somebody to knock him out.
Absolutely. And that was it's like the NFL, as we're going to transition. When you guys were at the top of your game, dynasty-wise, similar to the Yankees in baseball when they had the limitless pockets for payroll, the New England Patriots were during dynasty mode. It's if you're not from the region or if you're not a fan of theirs, you hated them. But it's great for viewership. Like now you got the Swifties with Mahomes, Kelce, the crew. The Chiefs went from a team that everybody wanted to beat the Patriots, and even when TB went to the Bucs, a lot of people wanted to, they were Team Mahomes because Brady's done his fair share of winning. Now, similarly to the Patriots, because the Patriots were a Cinderella squad that ultimately turned into a dynasty. Once you get into dynasty mode, unless if you're a fan, you are usually hated. Unless if you're a fan.
Yeah, but Jake Paul has never been in a dynasty mode. He's just
no. What I'm getting at is that he's handpicking these opponents. He's pissing people off. But now he's drawing an anger amongst real fight fans like yourself and I, where now we're like, we want somebody to knock this up. out. You know what I mean? We want somebody to put him down. So in that regard, that's where I'm making the assimilation, how you're getting people drawn in. You know what I'm saying? Because I personally thought that even Mike at his 50% would have took this guy out. But at the end of the day, Mike is on the way out. He's got other ventures. He's got his cannabis stuff. He's got the podcast, you know, and now he's got generational wealth, God willing, if he takes care of it, for his children. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm not mad at Mike for taking the payday. I'm frustrated, to your point, about how boxing has fallen. And in the words of Larry Merchant, don't paraphrase me, but you know where I'm going. When will a warrior step into the ring? And right now I'm just hearing it in my headphones without.
It's there. It's there. But I mean, you know, you watch boxing a lot more than I do. You know what I'm saying? Like you're into these fights.
But I'll be honest, if my brother wasn't a fan, I probably wouldn't be as invested, because it's a chance to hang out with family, which is always a plus. But the God's honest truth, Bretsky, like, I am not as drawn in as I was. There are certain fighters that I'm always going to pay attention to. I love Canelo. I love David Benavidez. I want to see that. I was a fan of Tyson Fury because he was the kind of fighter that made me think, could he hang with the big boys that we grew up on, like the Foremans and the Lennox Lewis kind of characters? The fact that it's a conversation, I didn't like what Fury said, that he would beat all those guys. I didn't care for that, because when you're truly a legend, you don't have to go backwards and tell people. Like you look at a guy like a Michael Jordan, or even a guy like the late Kobe Bryant in basketball.
They never said any of this. They never said any of this.
No, they leave it up to the certification of the fans to tell them who they are and who they're not, and this and that. And all of these great guys, whether it's a Tom Brady, a Joe Montana, a Michael Jordan, Kobe, you know the kind of guy I'm referring to, a Wayne Gretzky. They know how great they are. And there is that switch that they put on when it's go time, you know. And but as far as boxing goes, it's cyclical. It'll always come back, and sometimes, quite frankly, it could happen on the drop of a hat. Maybe when you're hearing Take It Back.
Remember that movie Great White Hype?
Yeah, sure.
You remember that movie? I think it was one of the Wayans brothers and Ethan Hawke, I think, was
Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans did great in that. Samuel L. Jackson was the promoter.
Yeah, he was like the Don King of the whole movie.
It was good. And then, even with Rocky V with George Washington Carver.
But it came down to the end, and Damon Wayans had the
George Washington Duke, excuse me.
Yeah, he had the pot belly thing and everything, and he was out of shape. And Ethan Hawke was ready to go in shape, and all it took was bam, second round knockout, done, and end of the hype, game over, blah blah blah, end of boxing. You know what I mean? Like, it almost had that kind of feeling about it.
And you know what's funny, Brett? If I'm not mistaken, that movie came out the same year when Tyson got out of jail, and his first tune-up fight was against Peter McNeely. Oddly enough, he and Peter McNeely are actually really good friends. They became friends because I got no bad for a guy like a Peter McNeely. He's a club fighter, similar to Balboa, like when you talk the storyline type shit. So for a guy like that to fight a prime Tyson, that's like a dream come true, even if he mushes you in 90 seconds. Because he had said, growing up, I had a poster of this dude in my room. So I get all the metrics of it. But the whole coming out, and I'm the face of boxing, I'm like, bro, you're handpicking your opponents. Nate Robinson's a former friggin' dunk champion. He's a basketball player turned MMA guy. Yeah. Anderson Silva, God.
The fighter.
But you could thank Floyd for all this sideshow bullshit. On to the NFL. We always start with our less notables. These are my picks, not speaking for Bretsky. Home teams are in the caps. Buccaneers of Tampa 23, my New York Giants 20. I'm going to circle it back and talk about that for a moment. Chiefs 34, Carolina 17. I got the Dolphins winning by 11 over Brett's Patriots. The Texans by 2 scores over the Titans. I've got the Broncos 27-20 over the Raiders. And I've got the Commanders doubling up the Cowboys 31-15. Gonna talk briskly about my team, and then you could chime in on anything you want out of these games. I think Tommy DeVito gives our offense, honestly, just a little more fluidity because of the fact that there's something that you can't teach. It's called confidence. That kid doesn't have a shortage of that. Last year was kind of cool to see him have his 15 minutes of fame. You know, you beat Green Bay on Monday Night Football, which was definitely his moment in the sun. I'm not insinuating that this kid is the future or that this kid's going to be a starter, but at minimum, I would like to see him play his way into a backup role next year when the Giants figure out their quarterback of the future in this coming draft. And one last thought on the quarterbacks of this particular draft. In another season, I don't think a lot of these dudes go as high as they are. But as you already know, it's a quarterback-driven league. And there's a lot of need out there. You have about 8 teams that are thinking about who's the next quarterback, and 2 of them play in the NFC East because although Dak is going to be the Cowboy quarterback for a little bit longer, they are going to be thinking about life after him. And they're in a rare scenario where they are a lot worse than they're used to being. So it's almost a no-brainer, especially with the kind of dude Jerry is, that you know he's going to be looking at Shedeur. I think Shedeur makes sense for the Raiders. Me personally, if my team goes quarterback, I would like Cam Ward. But if the Giants don't feel that it is the dude, there are veteran options to bridge it out until you get the right guy. Don't just get a guy for a team need. I don't believe in that, because I would be thrilled if the New York Giants got wide receiver / cornerback Travis Hunter, the 2-way star, because you're sufficing for a need. You need a cornerback 1, and it wouldn't hurt you to get another stud opposite of Neighbors. But as the game goes, short, sweet, plain, simple. I think the Giants are going to play a little better on offense. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. I think they're going to generate some heat on Baker Mayfield. Buccaneers are down 2 of their receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Godwin out for the year.
Evans coming back.
Godwin's coming back?
No, Evans.
Oh, Evans. This particular week?
Yeah.
Either way, the way I look at this is with Evans, without Evans, I have more faith in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win a tough road game than I do for the New York Giants to win their first home game. But I do think Tommy DeVito will play better. And I also think that Tampa's going to be able to run the ball. The Giants struggle against the run. That is one of the weaknesses of a defense that does lead the league in sacks. That's all I got. I'm going to highlight my team, but these are my picks. And Brett, if you want to highlight yours, have at it.
Well, I agree with your pick. I think the Bucs will edge them out by at least 6. I think DeVito gives them a better chance than Danny Dimes would.
I think you give them a better chance than Danny Dimes would.
Yeah, I don't agree with that Dolphins Patriots pick, man. Miami does not. They're not. I don't know what it is. They're just not the same offense they were last year. They're off. The timing is off. I think their head coach is going to be out the door by the end of the year if they don't play their cards right. You know what I mean? But I don't trust Miami.
They are enjoying a modest 2-game winning streak. The Ram game was a big win for them.
No, it was. You know,
it gives them like that little glimmer where they could sneak in the back door for a 7 seed if they get hot.
We competed, and you know we gave up a big play to Cooper Kupp. You know what I mean? But we played well. Mayday played well. And I think this is yeah, he's looking good, man. The past 3 games, he's had what, almost 100 quarterback rating. Barely turned the ball over. I think he threw 1 pick this past weekend, but um, you know what I mean. But like he's looking good, man. The offense is flowing good with him. They're protecting him. Um, they just it's a matter of time before that kid gets rolling, man. We got to put another weapon in that offense and see what happens. But uh, I don't know, man. The Patriots, they're playing good ball, man. I mean, the record doesn't really.
No. It's not about the record this year. This year is about getting the experience.
Yeah, but he's getting it, and
I like what Drake May's doing so far. I
still
like
alive.
what head coach Gerard Mayo's doing right now. Personally, I think you guys are in good hands. I think you guys are headed in the right direction. The reason I like Miami here are a couple of reasons. Number one, if this game was in New England, I might be singing a different tune.
Right.
In Miami Gardens, I do like them, and I do think that they are going to take advantage of the middle of the field. I think is where they might be able to exploit you on third and manageables, third and sixes, third and sevens. Miami should be able to win this game if they play the speed game. And I've been calling it for a couple of weeks on and off. I'm going to call it this week. Odell Beckham Jr. finally finds the friggin' end zone.
Let it go. Let it go, man. Let it go.
His snap share was his highest of the year, but no, he's on the way out. We all know that much. But
on his way into prison. But yeah, no. Miami does not. I don't know. They're not clicking. They're not clicking at all. They're like I said, their timing is off. Their offense is off. They're not running the ball the way they should.
Couple of weeks ago, I would agree with that, but I do actually like the way Miami has looked the last couple of weeks. And Miami has had a propensity, not just in this particular era, but even in the Flores era, of being very streaky, where they turn it on too late, or they have like that late season collapse. But right now, the schedule is getting a little more favorable for them. I do believe that Miami's going to hang around. I don't have them in the playoffs, but I think they're going to hang around and try to insert themselves towards the end of the year. That's just my opinion.
They might go on a little run, but come week 13, week 14, going into that playoff push, when the weather gets a little colder, they have to travel. I don't really like their chances.
I mean, bro, I don't even think the Bengals are really dead yet, despite the many frustrating losses because of their defense.
I cannot believe that, dude. I cannot believe what the Bengals defense is doing.
Hmm? And, it's so unfortunate because
on Burrow and Chase and Higgins and
it's so unfortunate because in any other season, even if you're able to just get a couple of stops, not even be that damn good. Like the old Buffalo teams, they were bend but don't break. They weren't like phenomenal, but they were good enough in giving up trading the threes for the sixes.
But they're not getting any stops. They're not getting any.
No, they're not.
Like give Burrow some time, man. Like,
yeah, I get it, bro. I am with you. It is so frustrating if you're a Bengals fan.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
Thursday night football. Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-2, traveling to Cleveland to take on the 2-8 Cleveland Browns. The Steelers come into the week with a chance to have a share of the best record in the AFC with a KC loss potentially. You never know. Browns have had a lost season, but the reason why I'm even talking about this, I think it's a big emotional game for Nick Chubb, considering that last season when these two teams played, his career by many experts was in legit jeopardy. As the game goes, I'm not joking. I'm actually being serious when I say this. I have a funny feeling that there might be A
So
little bit of concern for an upset alert after they just beat Baltimore and they're really feeling themselves and they're feeling really good. Call me crazy, but I am picking the Cleveland Browns to
Yeah.
eke out one against the Pittsburgh Steelers team, who, yes, they have a phenomenal defense, but their offense is still not a completely polished unit. Give me the Browns 20. Give me the Steelers 15. Jameis Winston takes his team down the field and just, oh, yeah. The Brownies for their third win of the year and throw a little monkey wrench in the Steelers' plans. I'm not even trying to be a comedian. I think the Browns are going to win this game.
listen,
I just got a vibe.
any other day, I would call you crazy. But I'm not.
Okay.
I was 100% in agreement with you about Cleveland upsetting them, just because it's a trap game. It's a short week.
It's
like
the
you
perfect setup. It's the perfect setup.
said, they're coming off the Baltimore win. You know, it's a perfect opportunity for Cleveland just to get in there and really put.
Yes.
I mean, just put it in
Yeah.
with no lube, elbow deep, just straight up Pittsburgh's ass, and they're going to beat them 16-14.
Wow, we are both on the Browns. I don't think too many football shows are picking that, but we are. And you know what it is, Bretsky? Jameis Winston gives them a little bit of reputability. It has like it's like the perfect storm for an upset. Cleveland just got shellacked in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh,
Chubb
in a real defense. Yeah, let's hear this.
6.
So you got Chubb having his best game of the year.
I wouldn't say his best game of the year. I think all I'm saying is he's going to get into the end zone finally. Like he can have a 56-yard game, but he's finally getting into the end zone.
I just got a vibe because the Steelers, I respect them, and I respect Mike Tomlin, but I feel that if they don't get over the hump in the AFC playoffs, it's going to be because of their offense. But I will say this. It's interesting to see how they're going to be moving forward because they like Justin Fields' play share inside the 20s where they're going with two quarterbacks, and they view it as having two starters. Justin Fields could potentially be the future because he's still very young. Russell Wilson is right now. So something to keep tabs on. But Brett and I are both on the Browns. I like it.
100%, dude. Brownies all day.
We're not going in any particular order. We're keeping it in the division. The Los Angeles Chargers are traveling to Baltimore. This is going to be a good battle. The Harbaugh brothers get it on again. Ravens are looking to bounce back. You know, a tough loss. They have struggled for so long to beat Pittsburgh in the Lamar Jackson era. And I'm going to call this right now. They were stymied, literally, as I used the word in the bottom there, by the Pittsburgh defense last week. I have a feeling that you're going to have something rather similarly go down here because it's been a long time since we could talk about the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly San Diego, and really talk about their defense. But this team has adopted the attitude of head coach Jim Harbaugh. And wait till they get some salary cap space next year and they give Herbert some toys, who I'm freezing, by the way, in the Pops Cheddar in the Sun League. He will be my freeze next year. He's my starter next year. I think Justin Herbert is one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in the league. And I got this Los Angeles Chargers going into Baltimore, roughing it up, not to mention J.K. Dobbins, return game, homecoming game. The Ravens secondary is not that good, Bretsky. They give up a lot of big plays. The question is, can Herbert exploit that secondary? That's what I want to know.
You know, we really, not even we, but all season long, you know, nobody's really talked about the Chargers.
No, dude. They're just overlooking them.
Because they're in the AFC West and, you know, the Chiefs are at the top. You know, Denver's in the mix.
Yes, sir.
You know, but nobody is talking about the Chargers.
And they should be.
You know, and it's sad, dude. They're a good football team. They really are.
They look like a completely different team than what I'm used to seeing, because if you look at any era of Charger football, they're always been like a finesse team. This team hits you in the friggin' mouth.
Yeah.
You know? And their defense has really, really turned into a hell of a unit in a short time.
I like your hype with the Chargers. I do. I like your hype. But I'm not going to take them this week.
Hmm?
I'm gonna take Baltimore on the bounce back.
Okay. Baltimore on the bounce back.
Yeah, I think Lamar and Derrick Henry are really going to just run over these guys. What's up, Zap Attack?
Mr. Brett.
Hey, buddy. So yeah, I think the Baltimore are going to bounce back this week. I got Lamar and Derrick Henry having a good week.
I put Zappy in window too because I didn't want to block Tom Brady's perfectly chiseled chin. Continue, Brett.
Yeah, you can't do it. No, I got Baltimore winning this thing, 31-23. They're going to bounce back this week. I think they're still kind of butthurt about losing to Pittsburgh, but I don't think Derrick Henry is gonna have the game that he had last week. Granted, Chargers do have a solid defense, but do they have the defense that Pittsburgh has? No, absolutely not.
No, they're not on Pittsburgh's level. Nobody is. But I do believe that the Baltimore Ravens are fugazing right now. And I have a feeling that who's going to be the guy that makes the big play vertically? I'm going with Palmer. I think Palmer's going to stretch them out. And I think Lamar is going to throw an untimely pick. Just my opinion. Zap, who you got?
He may.
I can't see a world where Baltimore is going to lose 2 weeks in a row.
I know. I love it. That's why I'm betting the Chargers. Go ahead.
They have – I mean, when it comes to Baltimore and Pittsburgh, we already know it's one of the greatest chess matches in football.
Absolutely.
I mean, that you're not going to get a high-scoring game out of that one. But San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore game, this kind of screams high-scoring. We know the Chargers can run the ball. J.K. Dobbins has had a career rejuvenation under Harbaugh. We know what's going on with Baltimore, how they like to run the ball. But I think we're going to see a lot of the air attack going on. Baltimore having one of the worst defenses in the NFL, in passing defense, should I say.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Chargers, they are quietly one of the quieter 7-3 teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
No one thought of it. Now you have teams like Dallas, who is probably regretting not firing McCarthy and going after Harbaugh during the offseason, just to name a couple. But I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. I mean, we saw what the Chargers gave us on Sunday night against the Bengals, and I think it's going to be another one of those games. I think the Ravens are going to jump out early, but we have seen a history of them, at least over the last couple of years, where they like to blow leads.
Yes, they do.
Turn into a shootout. I'm going to take the Ravens on this one. Justin Tucker, he's the reason why they lost. He lost 7 points on the board. They lost 18-16. They should have won 23-18. They missed field goals, missed extra points.
Yeah, Justin Tucker turned into Ray Finkel.
It really did. But I think he's going to come through for the Ravens in this one. Walk-off field goal, 37-34, and what I think is going to be a great, great football game. And it's going to be great to see the brothers coaching against each other again.
Oh, always cool to see those guys together.
Great take on Justin Tucker. I like that. Question for you, Zach. The background behind, is that Mike Tyson's punch out? Like, is that like the training montage background behind you?
What?
What is that behind you?
Oh, it's a trade that took place. It's where I sent Cooper Kupp and Jahmyr Gibbs to Richie, in which they helped out Richie get to 200 and something points on your bye week.
Oh, that's really good. It's also the first time he's put up over 200 points all season long. So,
is that true? I'm not 100% sure. We might have to research that. I'm not sure if Brett's right on that one.
Nothing competes with my 69 points. All right,
that's true.
Oh my! All right, Minnesota, Chicago, Soldier Field. The Minnesota Vikings at 8-2 will be traveling to the 4-6 Bears. Bears are still on a losing streak. However, they did find their offense last week, which could potentially be something to feel a little better about, as they have been struggling. But I do think that Caleb Williams, a guy who I'm not a fan of, and Zappy's not a fan of, and we make it very clear on the show that we don't like this guy, but I do think he's improving, and not in the Derek Carr kind of way. As the Minnesota Vikings go, I think they shot their load too early. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I think it's too much Big Jim and not enough Pete North.
No,
And, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about the Minnesota Vikings right now because they're not winning as convincingly as they did early on. I thought when they went into Green Bay and slapped them around, I thought that was a quality victory. The way their season started, stomping out my New York Giants on our 100th year celebration, that was a statement, especially after losing your tragically losing your rookie cornerback to a fatal car accident, losing your future quarterback to a knee injury, Sam Darnold career resurrection, but Sam Darnold is starting to look a little more Darnoldish, a little more Jettish. I like the Bears here, guys. I think the Bears are going to get off this losing streak, and I like Rome Odunze to shine out and be right around the 100-yard thresh. I'm going Chicago Bears 27, Minnesota Vikings 20. Give me the Bears by a touch at Soldier.
Interesting. No, I'm no. I cannot pick the Bears. I can't do it. I think the locker room is in shambles right now. You know, with Caleb Williams. I
thought he showed his ass a little bit in that Green Bay game. I thought he showed his ass against a pretty good defense.
No, you know what it was that the Tom Brady let go talk warm up. You saw that, right?
I certainly did.
Yes, he did. Tom Brady showed up there.
Why does Richie have this up? Because Richie's looking for a particular picture, and my internet is lagging.
Yeah, it does, Richie. But yeah, no, Tom Brady went there to get the let go talk. He almost won the game. You know, but this week, I don't see it. I don't. I think Minnesota's a better football team. I think Aaron Jones actually has a really good game this week. And JJ is going to do his thing. But I don't have enough trust in Chicago right now. I think their defense is playing actually really well, but it's their offense that works. You know, I don't trust.
I think their defense still has lapses. I don't think that I think Green Bay's going to be in second at day's end. That's all I'm going to say. Green Bay's going to be in second at day's end, and I think the Vikings, they're kind of showing me like that feel of a couple of years ago when they won 13 games and got smacked in the mouth.
I think the Vikings get back on track.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Zappy, your thoughts?
Am I the guy that's going to break the tie?
Do it.
All right.
When you show up when you did, I like that role right now.
Hey, you know, if I wasn't an accident, by the way, the highway was shut down and all the cars had to get off until a one-lane road, and that was a pain. Anyways, all right. Chicago is expecting.
We got to get this guy. We got to get him a police escort.
Chicago's. It's possible that it snows this Sunday during the game. We're talking about Caleb Williams, a guy who played in California, also Oklahoma. We're talking about Sam, a guy that is also from California. This is the kind of game where if it is cold, snowy, whatever, what do you need to do? Be able to pound the rock, run the football. Mm-hmm. And I like Aaron Jones, but I like the combination of DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson just a little more this week. This game to me upset written all over it. That's when I look at this game, I think one of the games to watch for this weekend. I don't think the Bears are going to make a run to the playoffs, but I also don't think they're just going to bend over and fold for the rest of the season. I mean, they're a team that's playing spoiler right now, and I like the way they looked last week. Minnesota right now, like Richie said, Sam Darnold has not looked like Sam Darnold of the way the season started. Of course, there's a lot more game film on him, and teams do game plan now. But I just have this feeling Chicago's going to come out on top this weekend. Call me crazy, but to see them losing 3 games in a row or whatever it is, and then they have to go to play Detroit next week, I don't see it. I think they're going to be winning this weekend against Minnesota, giving Minnesota their 3rd loss of the season, which it's not going to hurt them by any means because this division is going to get 3 teams in. But it's going to give Green Bay the clear path to the number 2 seed in the NFC North. So with that being said, give me Chicago to win this game 23-20. I think Caleb Williams does have himself a good enough game to get by, but I think this is going to be the type of game that it's going to be the running game that you're going to have to lean on, and whichever quarterback doesn't make that critical mistake. So, but yeah, I'm going with Chicago in this one as well.
There you go. 2 against 1. Uh-oh. What happened, Richie?
Richie, we can't hear you.
No, we can't hear him.
Thank you, boys.
Now we can hear you.
Sunday Night Football pits the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-2 against the Los Angeles Rams at 5-5. The Rams look to position themselves in a West division that literally any of these teams could win, even the 49ers, as much as they've been, giving it away. Can Philadelphia's secondary be up to the task for Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and the former Super Bowl champion Matthew Stafford? X factor here, as it's been for most years in his career, but particularly this year in Philly. Saquon Barkley is the X factor in this game. But you know what? I'm smelling the home team here. I think Kyren Williams is going to bust out after being a little dormant the last couple of weeks. I think Kyren is going to have a day. I think the Eagles are going to catch their 3rd L. And once again, it might beg to question, are these guys as good as their record? I'm not sure yet. That will be revealed. Best team they beat this year is the Green Bay Packers, in my estimation. And that was week 1, and that was in Brazil. I believe that the Eagles have relied heavily on Saquon. But when I look past Saquon, I'm not exactly endeared with the Eagle offense as a whole. Just my opinion.
I'm sorry, Rich, go ahead.
No. You're good, bro. Just my opinion. I'm not going to question what Saquon has done for this Eagles organization this year. He's been nothing short of phenomenal. But I am not convinced that their offense on the whole is clicking. It's funny. For years in East Rutherford, they were like, oh, they're using them. They're using them up. They're using them up. Well, it looks like the Eagles are doing something similar. Now, granted, he's running behind a much better offensive line. The Rams really need this game. They really need this game. And I think they're going to rise to the occasion. I think the Rams are going to rise to the occasion this week, and they're going to get a very important win at home. Game to keep them alive in that division.
I agree. The Rams do need this game. And yes, they've been relying on Saquon, but you got to realize that A.J. Brown was out the first 4 or 5 weeks out of the season. And I don't even think he's still 100% yet, but he's still playing. But a lot of people are not talking about Philly's secondary and what they've done. I think they've actually done a pretty decent job of shutting down a lot of these wide receiving cores. They're not giving up a lot of points. I think they're giving up more yardage regarding the run than they are passing. But I think, I don't think people are really hitting on their secondary and what they've done. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it has potential to go into overtime. I think it's going to be a really, really tight-knit game. I'm going to say 30-27 Philly.
Just wanted to let you know the reason why I have
Nakua kind of got hurt.
Banner's a dragon.
Then Nakua didn't he get hurt a little bit last week? I think he hurt his elbow. I don't know. As far as I know, he's questionable, but there hasn't been anything said about Nakua yet because I know he got a little hurt last week. I'm still going to take Philly in that matchup. I'm going to say 30-27.
I'm so confused right now.
So am I. Oh, that's what he's trying to fucking show. Good jackass. He can't figure out his freaking, his ability to talk on the camera, but he can show that.
Yeah, he forgot he's muted.
Brett, what happened? What happened?
What happened? Tell me.
I want your feedback quickly. What happened?
What feedback?
What happened?
There is no feedback. He whooped my ass. You put up 236 points. That was the most points in a league.
Are you concerned?
Like the whole year.
Are you concerned that by not reaching out to the fourth horseman, Mr. Idris Salam, that it could come back to bite you, that you didn't inquire about Lamar?
No, I'm not concerned at all.
Okay, we'll revisit this in about a month.
I'm not concerned.
We're going to move it along to Arizona
Right,
Cardinals.
Hold on, I didn't get my Philly yet. No, I want to piggyback off of Brett too. Quinton Mitchell, that guy has been playing out of his mind. He has,
dude. He's been shut the ball, dude.
Yeah, I think he's the front runner for
Rookie
of the for defensive rookie of the year, should I say?
Yeah.
I think I gotta say he's been playing great, and Cooper DeJean, ever since he's taken over, especially in the slot, he's been doing good as well. I'm gonna give the Eagles a shout out in that regard. Now, when I look at this Eagles offense, obviously their offense is going, but it's based on giving the ball to Saquon and taking the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and not having not being forced to throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. As far as the Rams go, it's quite obvious that Quinton Mitchell is going to follow Cooper or he's going to follow Nakua. I'm going to say he's going to follow Nakua, and they're going to allow Slay to follow Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, is the X factor for this week's game. Kyren Williams will get his. Blake Corum will get his as well. But I look at this team, and I think Cooper Kupp is going to take them this team will only go as far as Cooper Kupp takes them. And I think the Rams were going to come out ready to play. I picked the Rams to win the division before the season started. I'm still standing by it, even with the Cardinals in first place by one game. I think this Rams team if they could they're just one step away from putting it all together. And when they do, they're going to be one of the more dangerous teams in the NFC, in my honest opinion. Philly's going to be no pushover, but at the same time, when I look at who Philly has played this year, it's not overwhelming. They're about to go through their stretch here, playing Baltimore soon, Pittsburgh soon. We saw what they did to Washington, but Washington, the same thing, is they haven't played anyone either. I'm going to take the Rams to win this game 27-23. It's funny you took 30-27 there, Brett, because I think 27 is the magic number for the Rams.
Yeah, I took Philly. I took Philly 30-27.
Right.
Brett wouldn't believe me if I said this. I'm not posting our score on purpose anymore. I've been having issues with the banners. That's why I opened up the other one. And now I'm locked out of my phone for 5 minutes. So I'm not trolling Brett. I really can't get this off the screen at the moment. Looks like a roll of toilet paper coming over. Zappy's covered.
I like seeing my face as James Cook and Ramondre Stevenson.
I'm curious. Does it show the record on the top?
It does, and once again, we're going to revisit that. And you should know as well as anyone that having the 1 seed in this league or the 2 seed doesn't guarantee you anything. Doesn't guarantee you anything at all. We're going to move it along. Arizona, Seattle. Just to let you boys know, coming up on the 11-minute mark. I like Seattle here. They're super overdue for a home win, and I also believe that the running back tandem of Zach Charbonnet backing up Kenneth Walker, both going to perform here. Geno Smith needs to have a good performance here. We know the kind of season the Cardinals are having. It almost feels like this shouldn't be happening. There's a lot of variables as to why the Cardinals aren't first. Not trying to take away what Gannon has accomplished with this squad. But you got all the 49er injuries, and then they have this disappointing loss to Seattle. You know the Ram injuries that they've dealt with during the year. And Arizona is in first, but they still have the reach to blow this. Give me Seattle 23. Give me Arizona 22. 1-point victory for the home team, and they finally bust that 4-game losing streak in front of the 12s.
This is a tough one to call. It really is, because I mean, Arizona's playing good ball. Seattle just won on the road against San Fran against a hurt 49er team. I mean, the only advantage they got going for them is they're playing home. It really depends on how Kyler Murray plays, man. If this guy comes out blazing, Arizona can put up a lot of points, and I don't think Seattle. Oh man, tough one. It's a 50-50 for me. I'll go with the home team as much shit as I'm talking about Seattle right now. I'm still gonna go with the 12th man.
I don't see them losing 5 in a row at home.
Yeah, well, they're not the Dallas Cowboys. So
whoa.
The Giants and Cowboys haven't won a home game, so hey.
I don't see that happen. I see Seattle pulling this one out. I'm gonna say this is overtime. I'm gonna say 33-30. 33-30 OT.
Oh, you got this game going up.
Yeah, this is an OT matchup for me. 33-30. Seattle.
What these two teams have in common is that they are two of the last 3 teams that Daniel Jones has actually defeated. All right. That's messed up. That is messed up. Go ahead, Zap.
Short and sweet. Arizona's got a tough 3-week stretch coming up. They obviously travel to Seattle this week, travel to Minnesota next week, and then have Seattle at home the week after that. Arizona cannot let their guard down, but I can – either way, I'll be the scorer. Or doesn't matter.
No,
anyways,
by the toilet paper. Here we go.
No, I think this is going to be a one of those games that both teams are going to want it. Seattle needs it a little more, even after coming off that emotional win. Arizona's coming off the bye week, and we know with Arizona, like I talked about last time, if you don't hold James Conner to under 20 carries, you don't slow Kyler Murray down in the running game, then you're probably going to lose. My gut wants to take Arizona in this game. I really want to take Arizona in this game 27-24. I'm sorry, 30-27. But I'm actually going with a tie on this one. I think this is going to be an overtime game as well, and I don't think anyone comes out on top of this one. And I think this is going to be the game that's going to hurt a team like the 49ers because they're going to have that tie and instead of that one extra loss.
All right. We are inside the final 6 minutes. We got 2 games to go, so I'm going to try to expedite this by going with the easy one quickly. Detroit Lions at 9-1, traveling to Indy at 5-6. The Lions continue their dominant surge and destroyed the Jaguars. We know that. The Lions are the best team in the NFC. The Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. And they properly replaced Aiden Hutchinson, and he might even be back if they make the Super Bowl. Is their secondary the best? No, they against the proper offense, on any given day they could be exploited. The Indianapolis Colts are just too inconsistent for me to trust, and I really trust Detroit's offense. Give me the Lions 38. Give me the Colts 24. The Colts will compete, but the Lions will win. 2-score victory on the road, and the Lions are really, really good. Brett or Zappy, what do you got?
I think the Lions continue to cook. I agree with you, man. Indy's too inconsistent. AR just came back. Yeah, the Lions offense, they're just too much, man. Jameis Williams is back. The Colts looking good. Goff finally looked like Goff last week. Like even what do you throw 4 picks the week before and they still won?
5 points.
So that itself kind of explains what kind of team the Lions are. They're going to win, and they're going to win easily. I'm going to say 43-26. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Montgomery and Green are going to have a field day on this one. I think Lions are going to get up big, and they're going to eat. And I mean, Montgomery's a beast, dude. So I think he might have another one of those angry run, milestones again for the third time this year. But yeah, no, Lions win. Lions win big. They're the best team in the NFL right now, hands down. I agree with you 100%.
About the Lions last week, I said they were going to be the highest scoring team of the weekend. I said they were going to put up 40-something points on the Jaguars. I was wrong. They put up over 50. My bad.
Yeah, you're wrong on that one.
No, when I look at this game, I think this game is going to be very, very close. And then the kickoff happens, and then the Lions start the onslaught of scoring. The Colts have too many question marks right now. Obviously, AR, he didn't look too bad last week in his first game back as a starter ever since his benching. But do they have the ammunition? Do they have the defense to slow down this juggernaut of an offense? I don't see it. And the acquisition of Zadarius Smith has only proven to be that might be the best trade of the trade deadline, because Zadarius Smith has been eating with that defense. Give me the Lions to continue to pour it on NFL teams. I think this is going to be a team that's going to be flirting with the possibility of being the highest scoring regular season team in NFL history. If they keep this up of onslaught of 40-point games, 50-point games, will they put up 50-something points on them like the way they did the Jaguars? I don't think so, but I think they will get to that 38-point mark. Give me the Lions 38-17. AR looks good, but there's just too many weapons. And what's scary about this Lions team, they haven't put it all together yet.
Yep.
That's what's scary. If they get Jameson Williams going, oh my God. But yeah,
right.
give me the Lions.
Right. We're coming up on the 2-minute mark. Last game, 49ers traveling to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Green Bay is good. I got Minnesota losing. Guess what? I got Green Bay losing too. The 49ers have had their number for quite some time, and the 49ers desperately need to go in there, win this game. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I think the Packers are going to struggle to slow down the 49ers running game. And I think the 49ers are going to be coming in pissed off because of the embarrassing loss at home to the Seattle Seahawks. The 49ers over the course of the Kyle Shanahan era have been a better road team. Give me the 49ers 26. Give me the Packers 24. Jordan Love 2 picks. One of them is going to really cost. Go ahead, guys. Final minute.
You're going to love that.
20.
I'm gonna take Green Bay 26-21. I think the Niners are too banged up. Bosa's hurt, hip injury. Now you got Brock Purdy, shoulder injury, day to day. McCaffrey's still not 100%. Debo is still not 100%. I think Kittle might be coming back. I'm not sure yet. He's still questionable. Too many injuries on this team, and too much drama on the sideline.
Nick Bosa might be out for an extended period of time too. Give me the Packers. That was the exact score I was going with, 26-21.
Bam!
All right, you still got it close.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. There's no way the San Francisco team is going to fold. I mean, we're talking about a team that's been to 7 NFC title games in the last 12 years, 3 Super Bowls in the last 12 years. I mean, they've lost them all, but hey, no big deal. 20 years of misery.
Shots fired, Ryan Shed. Shots fired.
But yeah, no. I think this 49er team, like Brett said, they're hurting too much. There's too many injuries. The hangover is for real for them. The Packers, they're playing for. Give me the Packers 26-1 as well.
For the boys, we are out. Thank you for hanging. Announcements to come on our